Hey guys, Nub Tactics here. So we're getting a new fighters collection, and with that, our G unit pool is being expanded to 16. Now, with that, we're getting basically 4 new slots for G units because the 4 other slots are being used for our G Guardians. So I'm going to start making a short video series where I assess Great Nature's current G units, because I'm a Great Nature main, and assessing which ones are probably going to want to splash in and which ones we probably aren't. This is assuming we're running a deck that can support pretty much any G unit. So with that, I might be doing a video on Leopold Chaser, but it probably won't be along the same vein because Leopold Chaser basically requires that you run Leopold, and Leopold is a card that warrants its own deck. So we're going to be looking at Phoenicialux, Cardfight, which I will be assessing because Chat Noir's Break Right is so strong that it will be pretty common to include her in most Great Nature decks. Hrimthurs, and Wisdom Teller Dragon. Alright, so starting off with Phoenicialux. This card is not a very good card because you run one of this card, you stride it, you attack, you choose up to 2 of your rear guards, they get plus power, and at the end of the turn, you drop them. You're basically minusing for a small power boost, which might not even get you an additional column if you're forming 16k columns. Most Vanguards are going to be at 11k, you're not getting an extra column for your efforts. Of course, this does combo, of course, with Crayon Tiger. You have a rearguard that's attacking for 13, and then you stand it for an additional plus 4. Then it's pretty useful in that respect. Of course, you're going to want to be playing this with cards that have self-contained refunding abilities, like Soft Tank Sloth when it gets put into the drop zone, Balloon Raccoon when it gets put into the drop zone, Set Square Penguin, you give your rearguard an effect when it's put into the drop zone. That's the card you want to be comboing Phoenicialux with. Now, that isn't necessarily enough to warrant running a copy of this card because you're basically relying on your other grade lineup to get your refunds, whereas Cardfight, Mana Garmer, Hrimthurs, and Wisdom Teller already have like a net plus and not a net minus by themselves without any other card effects on your field. So why would you run this card? Well, this card has the benefit of countering your opponent's minion, creature target, unit target strategies for free. So this doping effect occurs for free, and you get to destroy your own units. What good does this come? What good can you get out of this? Well, in Dimension Police, some Dimension Police decks run Laurel, and most players that run Laurel will be attacking your rear guards first before they attack your Vanguard. Now, why is this? Most decks currently run Unflipper PGs, but those don't let you target any unit other than your Vanguard. So where does Phoenicialux come in handy in this regard? Well, Phoenicialux can destroy your front row rear guards, so the Dimension Police deck playing Laurel, they have to attack your Vanguard first, and then you can PG that. And so your opponent doesn't basically get a free stand unless you choose to drop, what, 30, 40k in guard for your rear guard? I wouldn't do that. So that's one case it would work. Another case is Link Joker, because Link Joker will try to lock your front row. You lose attacks that way. But using Phoenicialux, you can destroy your front row so that there's nothing to lock. If you have units to replace the front row on your next turn, you get more attacks and more guard pressure. You might not be able to attack Vanguard, unless you dope your rear guards, of course, but you can still use those rear guards to attack your opponent's rear guards. Put down a 9k rear guard, attack your opponent's 9k rear guard. If you have a 12k beater, you already get to attack your opponent's Vanguard. If you have a 12k beater, in fact, you can dope it with a plus 4, and then it's already a 10k beater just by itself. Or, yeah, it forces a 10k guard just by itself. So that's where Phoenicialux comes in handy. It allows you to deny some of the attack that your opponent's decks will use. And with that being said, with the 4 extra G unit slots, if I were to splash this card in, I would splash in maybe 1 or 2, but definitely not any more than 2, because by itself, it's definitely not that good of a card. Alright, so that concludes the assessment for Phoenicialux. I will be introducing more assessments for later cards like Cardfight, Hrimthurs, Wisdom Teller. I'm not going to go over Mana Garmer because most players who are running Great Nature already know that Mana Garmer is a great staple card that you just kind of want to be running at all times. So thank you for watching. Expect more of these videos in the future.